Welcome to Booze and Glues, a justifiable excuse for two friends to spend time together, cross crafts off their to-do list, and, of course, drink. With glue guns and wine glasses at the ready, join Jessie Shepherd and Tabitha Davis as they attempt to simultaneously chat, craft, chug and charm. Will they consume alcohol? Definitely. Will they actually accomplish anything? Debatably. Will they bitch and complain? Inevitably. Will it be a bloody good time? Absolutely. And if things don't turn out just as planned, well, that's okay too. Because booze!
Hello! Here we are singing again.
I always sing. I get a microphone, I just sing.
I sing all the time, but I probably sing like a lot more without a microphone. Like, because I don't want it broadcast.
Bum, 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 bum.
You made yours a lot shorter than I did. I made like shoulders.
What?
That'll work.
They're about the same.
I guess. I have to get my other one, and it has soap in it right now, so I'm gonna have to... Oh, this one's really thick compared to those ones. Uh-oh. It's like the special Halloween edition. Yikes. Okay,
Halloween! You cannot open this. Okay.
Hello!
Welcome to Booze and Glues. It's another episode.
Another episode. You sounded like... Ugh, it's happening again.
Maybe that's what our listeners are thinking.
Right. Could be.
If you're still listening, I think you might like us.
If you're still listening, we love you.
That is 100% the truth.
Yeah. Here we go again.
It is different.
It's way different.
Here we are. Hello, hello.
These sounds in the background are us cutting soft soap, hand
Plastic.
soap bottles, because we're making our own DIY. Maybe that's kind of over-explaining. I already said we're making our own.
Making our own DIY
soap dispensers.
I was trying to figure out another way to say DIY.
Oh.
I was going to milk it, but I couldn't think of another one.
Our own DIY, homemade, handcrafted, maker. What is that thing? Maker something? You know, you always see that like kits. Maker Monday or whatever.
Oh.
It ain't Monday. I really like mason jars. I mean,
Who doesn't?
Not to like a crazy extent. There are some people that just go nuts.
It's like their whole house is covered with them, I think. And I'm like, okay,
no.
Let's calm down
a couple of tasteful mason jar accents are enough for me.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the other day, like how happy ball must be. Like the...
Oh, okay. I was just trying to figure out who the hell that was.
Yeah, because all of a sudden there was just an uproar of women that
they were behind it.
They could have been. They totally could have been. Started like a Pinterest thing that was like, look at all this cute stuff you can do with mason jars, and everybody's like, fangirling it up about mason jars.
Right. And then they started, and then like the whole like clean eating community is all over it because they don't want to use plastic, and it's all about like reusable materials.
Yeah.
And then they started coming out with all the like colors. I mean, I have a green one and a purple one and a blue one because they made those. I mean, they're really making a comeback.
They are. Like,
they probably had some rough years in between when people were real into canning in the 70s.
Right.
And then...
Who the heck wants to make their own jam nowadays? Some people do.
I love to make my own jam.
No, I'm
not like by hand, though. I have a bread maker that's also a jam maker. I think I've made one loaf of bread in it ever. Because it has a jam setting, and I just make all kinds of jam.
Oh, interesting.
It's easy. You just throw it in there, and it cooks it and stirs it for you.
I just gotta say something about adulting and bread.
Okay.
So, I felt like a real, true, like, American, like, almost motherly...
Like a grown-ass person.
Like a grown-ass human. Because I had leftover bananas, and instead of throwing them away, I made chocolate chip banana bread.
Oh my gosh. Was it amazing? Or
so amazing.
Is mine amazinger? Because
yours was very good.
I have the best recipe that I got from my grandma, who got it from her, like, old lady friend that lived down the street when she was first married and blah, blah, blah. And she got it from her grandma. You know, like, it's like this ancient banana bread recipe. You don't have to use, like, eggs or anything. It's the best. So easy. I could recite it to you right now.
Oh, jeez. No, I mean, it was pretty good. I remember yours being very good. I have to compare them side by side, but probably yours... Wait, I mean, mine was just a Pinterest chocolate chip.
Banana bread.
Yeah.
Did you use the mini chocolate chips, though?
I did not.
Because that's what makes it.
See, I like a big gold chunk of chocolate.
Oh, we're like Ben and Jerry.
We're opposite?
Have you ever read the side of Ben and Jerry's carton?
No.
I'll read anything, obviously.
I don't really love Ben and Jerry's. There's a couple of flavors I like, and other than that, I don't really love it.
Yeah. I don't really love it because I feel like, oh, I have this small thing of ice cream that fits in my hand, and now I will eat all of it. It's scary. Ah, cute. This is going to work out great.
Look, guys.
Well, they can't. Ben and Jerry, one of them likes lots of little chunks all over the place to spread the flavor out, and one likes big chunks to give different texture, so they just do both. That's their secret thing.
Interesting.
So, like, it's a little bit of both worlds.
What's your favorite Ben and Jerry's flavor?
Well, I was a real basic bitch for many years, so I'm going to have to say Cherry Garcia.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. I don't do cherry.
Well, it's not my favorite anymore.
What's your favorite now?
One that they don't have. My favorite was Dublin Mudslide, and they discontinued it, and it was the best.
Oh, no.
It was so good.
I'm afraid for when they discontinue mine favorite, because it's not like a typical flavor. It's the Tonight Dough.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best.
I haven't had that one. I mean, they have lots of flavors that I think I'm like, oh, I'll be all right. But actually, my current favorite flavor.
Okay.
There we go. Is the speculoos cookie core one.
Oh.
I mean, you know about cookie butter, right?
Yeah.
It's the same stuff.
Interesting.
So good. The peanut butter one's not too bad either. But it has, like, chunks of cookie, and then it has the, like, gooey, like,
center
cookie butter stuff in the middle. So good. But as we briefly discussed earlier, I'm not eating dairy at the moment, so I have been trying their non-dairy options, which...
Okay.
The almond toffee one, it was really good, but it's so sweet, like, I almost couldn't handle it.
Oh, no.
And right now, I currently have peanut butter... It's like cookies and cream, but it has peanut butter ribbons in it. But the peanut butter ribbons are so salty, I almost can't handle it.
Whoa.
So I don't know.
They're trying to make up for flavor somewhere else, probably.
I think so. So I did see one that's like a coconut 7-layer something or other. And I thought that might be worth a try.
Yeah. I've been trying to be good. And so I'm not buying Ben & Jerry's. I'm buying Halo Top. Because in case I eat the whole pint, I'm okay.
It's not
like eating one bite of Ben & Jerry's.
Yeah, it's not like devastating and your whole week's ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Does Halo make non-dairy?
I don't think they do. But there's another one. And I can't remember what it's called. But there's another non-dairy one. Brand. I know you can get it at Rayleigh's, but...
That might not be horrible.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So, ice cream.
I know.
Can you get... Well, you can't really have non-dairy yogurt, huh?
No.
I was like, what about
best I can
yogurt?
hope for is like a sorbet somewhere, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I know, I'm real bummed out right now. Just about, because everything I want to go eat, I'm like, oh, pizza. No. It's so sad.
Pizza.
I've lived my whole life, like, I've never wanted to drink milk. I've never liked milk.
I love milk.
But I've lived my whole life being totally happy eating everything like cheese and yogurt.
Milk makes.
Yeah. And now I'm just like, oh, is there dairy in that? Like, I didn't put butter. I was trying to make like a grilled sandwich. And I had like turkey and avocado and stuff. And then I was like, I'm going to have to just put it on the... It's probably good for me. I mean, it's probably better for me. But I like sandpapered the shit out of the roof of my mouth eating a grilled sandwich without using butter on it. It still hurts. I'm
Every time she takes a bite, ow! Oh, I wish I had butter. Oh.
You ever do that with, like, toast or chips where it's just like, you just, like, rub raw? It's rough.
Or, like, Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch is the worst.
I could see that.
I love it.
I like Captain Crunch,
but I literally can't taste for, like, 3 days afterwards because my whole mouth is shredded.
Just rough. You need to get it in the milk and let it soak.
Doesn't matter.
It takes away the crunch.
I can't wait that long, also.
Yeah. I mean, part of the fun is the crunch.
Yeah.
We were just talking about, because we heard on the radio some, like, I think Burger King or something has, like, a Lucky Charms milkshake. Some weird shit going on. And then I swore they said some other kind of cereal. And Adam was like, ooh. I mean, dear husband was like, ooh, Captain Crunch milkshake would be good. And I was like, yeah, it probably would be. I mean, they put it on donuts, right?
Yeah, they do. Burger King is like, I believe that it's Burger King. Because they are like the kings.
Oh.
Like, just weird shit.
Making up random shit.
Have you eaten the mac and Cheetos?
Yes.
Holy, lots of expletives.
I believe they came out, like, last summer, and the boys had seen commercials, and we were, like, all talking about, like, this kind of, like, ingenious and also horrific thing that they had created. It's like Frankenstein's monster, right?
Yes.
And so we were going camping, and on our way camping, we, like, purposefully went and found a Burger King and stopped just so we could buy them and try them. And I mean, we all tasted them, and I was like, meh, okay.
Oh, I liked them.
I mean, I probably would have liked them more if I could stop thinking about the horrible things they were doing to my body.
That's true. There's not one thing good about them.
Oh, God. It's so scary. But they come up, their marketing people are coming up with some shit.
Oh, my gosh. That's what I was just going to say. The commercial where it's like, oh, no.
Hum me a tune.
Return of the Mac.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Best commercial ever.
What's crazy is I heard it, like, from another room. And I came running into, like, my living room where it was on TV because I was so excited. Because I love that song. And I was like, what is this on? And then here it is, a Burger King commercial.
Return of the Mac and Cheetos.
And I thought that was pretty clever. But isn't it kind of a slight on McDonald's? Because, like, Mac, Big Mac. But then they're like, oh, we're the return of the Mac, but ooh, it's Mac and Cheetos.
Yeah, and he's like throwing up his hand, all the Cheetos fly out. Oh my gosh, I freaking love a commercial. I told Blake, I'm like, this is marketing genius.
I respect a good commercial.
Oh, I love a good commercial.
There are some commercials that when they come on, I will sit and watch them because every time I'm like, that guy.
That's the one.
Like, that is the dude or the chick.
Yeah, I just told Blake the other day, I'm like, sometimes I wish I could just meet the person that came up with this idea.
Or slap the person that came up with some of the other ones.
We don't have to go there.
Because seriously, it's like...
Did you?
Somebody paid someone for this? Like, that's what blows my mind. I'm like, I can come up with some shit.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. It's probably really frustrating for you since you, like, actually have, like, a degree in marketing stuff.
Well, and that's kind of, I always, like, wanted to do that sort of thing. But I don't have, like, big enough cojones because... being on a marketing team, you make one of those crap ideas where it is like, this commercial sucks, it doesn't make the company any money. They just fire the whole marketing team. Doesn't matter who came up with the idea.
And then it's not like you can be like, oh yeah, I'm the guy who made that commercial, because then they're like, oh, that commercial was awful.
Exactly. And I mean, you know, usually it's not like every company has its own marketing team. A lot of times they hire like a marketing company.
A firm.
Right. But
you could be a nameless, faceless schmuck in the firm.
Right. It's just scary. So
I do have the real problem, like in real life, of wanting to... I have to feel like I'm somehow making a difference.
Yeah.
Or it makes me, like... Because I've worked lots of jobs where it's like, well, I'm just going to work every day, and, like, if I died, it wouldn't matter, you know? I mean, not that it wouldn't matter, my family and stuff, but, like, I'm not, like, contributing anything positive to society at large, you know?
Yeah.
like, where I work now, I feel like I legit, like, I make someone's day better every day. And, like...
Help them see.
Well, it's not even that, because it's not like they wouldn't do that without me.
Yeah.
Like, the doctors would do that without me. They'd find somebody else. But, like, I legitimately, like, have a personal connection with someone each day where I help them and, like, have made their day better. And especially for, like, elderly people, that might be the only, like, contact that they're having that day.
Right.
You know? So that makes me feel good. Like, and I've done something for the world that day.
Speaking of elderly.
Uh-oh.
So, my grandma's my grandma's rehab hasn't been awful.
Okay.
Which is great.
That is great.
But apparently, one day, like, they take my grandma down to eat lunch, right?
She's, like, getting out of her room and her bed.
Oh, yeah, she's in a she can get in a wheelchair. It takes, like, 2 or 3 people to help get her in a wheelchair. But then they wheel her down to
and
do,
she still has the hip bar?
No.
They took off the hip bar.
Wasn't necessarily a great thing. Like, it was 6 weeks and they went to check on it and she messed with it so much the screws were pretty much stripped. They weren't even, like, hanging on the bone anymore. It wasn't doing anything.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, all her plates and screws and stuff are doing still what they're supposed to be doing and seem to be adapting well with the bones. So that's good.
That's good.
But it's probably not healing quite as fast as they would like, but she's old.
Right. Well, I'm like, the fact that her body's even accepting these things and everything. Right. I mean, yeah.
And she's not in a hard cast anymore. She's in a walking cast. I don't know why.
I'm so happy for Grandma. She can get out and, like...
Yeah, she can't walk still.
But, oh my gosh, just to, like, get out of the same room.
Yeah.
You're gonna be going insane.
Yeah, she's all to know where she's going. Like, we were in one of the visit rooms, like, because we had the whole family over for 4th of July, because we usually do a big family party, because her birthday's on the 13th. My mom's is on the 3rd, my dad's on the 4th. We just have a big family thing. We couldn't really do that this year, because she's in rehab.
Right.
So we all went there and my mom made her famous wacky cake.
Yes.
And she was like, kept talking about the room like it was the living room. And she's like, why are there people outside my window? And I'm like,
oh gosh.
But anyway, so the rehab's been okay, right?
Yeah. That's good.
But the other day, they brought her down for dinner. Because, you walk through and, I mean, they're older people. But they can walk around on their own. It's not like they're restrained to their beds. They can go on a walk if they want to go on a walk, right? But
yeah.
for the most part,
they're like, so that they can get help when they need it. But the idea is that they're getting better and learning to function be on their own again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but my grandma still doesn't know where she is half the time. And so they brought her down for dinner. And then when she was done with dinner, they just stuck her out in the hallway and left her there.
Oh, no.
Nobody brought her back to her room. And finally my aunt came looking for her and she was just sitting there. Had no idea where she was, what she was doing.
Right. Because most of the people, they're like, okay, wheel yourself back to your room and go about your life, whatever you want to do today. But she's not quite there yet.
No, so.
Oh, geez.
We were kind of frustrated about that. And then I was thinking about that lady that got sent to her doctor's appointment by her lonesome.
Yep. That's what happens.
That just reminded me of that.
Yeah, and your grandma was probably sitting there, and when people walked by, she was probably like, son of a bitch.
Or she's probably like, who the hell are you, and why are you at my house?
Right. How is that part coming? Did she seem to be making improvement?
Yes.
That's good.
The brain gets better all the time. One of their goals is for us, so she's got a little thing that says what day it is every day so that she can keep being reminded what day it is.
Can we just not tell her who the president is? I mean, because they use that as, do you know, what year it is? Yeah. Who's the president? She would be so much happier just living in a world, or she didn't have to know that.
Someone asked her when she was in the hospital who the president was, and we still don't know exactly who she was answering about because there's been presidents she didn't like,
right,
in the past also,
right,
because she's been in the 70s and stuff like that, and
right, she could have been talking about Nixon or whatever. I mean, I don't presume to know your grandma's politics. Maybe she voted for Trump, but
I actually don't know, to be honest, but she So they asked her who the president was, and she, like, sat there and she thought and she thought and she thought. And she's like, I can't remember his name, but I know I don't like him.
I think that's pretty much fair for any president.
Well, I know. And my mom's like, I just am curious who she was talking about. Was it Trump? Because...
Right.
Or was...
Or is she stuck in the 70s and she's, like, thinking, like, that damn potato farmer.
So that really didn't help narrow it down at all.
Not at all.
But... she's so much better, but...
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So, should we tell the people what we're doing?
Did we... Or was that
we started? Well, we started to tell the people what we're doing.
Okay, people.
Because we said we're making a bunch of plastic noises.
Okay, people.
But the reason we're making these soap jars is because we've both purchased adaptable, like... make your mason jar into a soap dispenser kit thingies. Horrible.
And they, like, just get rusty.
They get rusty and they, like, seep and crack and, like, nastiness. And
then you got rust in your soap. Yeah. It's like, am I washing my hands? I don't know.
Right? Who knows? And then it's just everywhere. And then...
You could get not TB. You could get tetanus from, like, licking your hands after you wash your hands.
Or cutting yourself when you go to reach up to get some soap on the shards of rusted metal that are just falling apart on your soap dispenser.
It's danger.
You probably took yours down before it got that far, but I've let mine, like, this blue jar I have sitting here, full on rusted all the way through and, like, pushed through the top before I was like, okay, we have to take you out. Because I kept thinking I was going to fix it or do something. Then, like, next iteration I have in my kitchen, which is one with a plastic pump, but all the metal's still rusted, like the lid and everything. So I just thought, like, we could probably do better.
So we're bypassing the metal. We're hoping that no soap touches the metal.
Right.
I think is the plan here.
For the most part. I mean, a little water or maybe a drip of soap might get on it, but, like, all the inner workings are plastic. And then I got this sweet Rust-Oleum, like, paint and primer in one thing. Hammered. Let's read what they have. Oh, it has it right here. This is just dark bronze. Some of them were real fancy, like oiled something bronze. I don't remember, like, craziness. But it says it works on, like, metal and all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna, like, wipe these bad boys down and spray paint them and hope that, like, protects them from becoming... I mean, it says Rust-Oleum right in the name. It's supposed to keep it from getting rusty.
All right. That's the stuff picked from my file cabinet. Which, did I tell you I bought 2 more things? Still not enough.
Covered. How many did we start with? 2?
2.
Oh, I could have told you 2 wasn't going to finish it.
I know, but I'm now up to, like, $80 on this thing altogether. Including the thing.
But. Can't believe that you got that filing cabinet for $50. You didn't want to... haggle.
I don't haggle.
You need to get me for those things. I'd have been like, look, dude, you want to get rid of this thing. It's going to cost you $30 to haul it to the dump. How about I take it off your hands for $10? That's how I roll. Especially, didn't you drive out of town?
I did.
Yeah, see?
It was only $40, I think.
Okay.
I ended up spending.
Talking down a little smidge. That's good. Yeah, spray paint gets kind of crazy. Well, I think these, like, ones that are paint and primer and one and et cetera, get really crazy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're like $6 instead of like $2.53.
Right. This bottle's nuts. When I'm buying stuff and I'm, like, usually just painting it black or white, I just go buy the, like, $1 cans of spray paint.
Well, yeah, this one was metal, so I wanted to make
sure
it
was going to stick.
Rust and that it was going to stick, so.
Well, and this says you can spray it right over rust, which is good because I got some of my janky old bottles or lids, and some of them are a little rusty.
Hides surface imperfections.
Because of the hammered look. But yeah, so basically, before we started recording, we drilled big old holes in the top of these jar lids with my fancy hole saw bits. It makes me seem like a do-it-yourself badass, right?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, at work, we were talking about putting a like a lock in a drawer.
Yeah.
Like a filing drawer. And I was like, oh, I'll just go buy like the lock cylinder thing. I got a hole saw. And my boss was like, okay. I was like, oh yeah, I super just impressed her. I'm so handy. Actually, she's pretty dang handy herself. She's really cute. She's like a petite woman, lived on her own, and like kicked life's ass all by herself.
Nice.
And I'm like, you rock a little bit. Probably some other people who work with me won't think that's great.
Don't listen.
We should cut that part out.
If you work with Tab, stop listening.
Actually, the only person who I've really been like, hey, you should listen to our podcast is just quit. So, she can listen.
What a bummer, Summer.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's not such a bummer because she is crazy. And now that I'm the office supervisor, I would probably have to control that crazy. But now I can just let her be crazy. Right?
She's on her own, doing her own thing.
Yeah.
Be
I'm like,
crazy,
hey,
girl.
Be nuts. I have no...
You do you.
What is that? Boothing. I was trying to think of a fancy word, and you said boothing.
Boothing.
Okay.
Messing around here.
So, we basically did all the work already.
Yep, we're just chilling.
Yeah, I have one more soap container that we need to cut out, but I think I'll take some pictures of, like, the bits and pieces that we used and how we did it, and then also the finished product, so people can kind of get the gist, since we're so good at explaining things.
So good. It's like just
orally.
The most flowery, fruitful words that paint a beautiful picture of the craft.
A mosaic.
Mosaic.
Luckily, Jessie hasn't cut any appendages off yet, but she's getting real excited about using that razor blade to cut these.
Razor blades.
That was a little sketchy, I'm not going to lie.
They excite me. I've always liked them.
I do think they're fascinating. They can do so many things, but I one time cut myself real bad with one.
So now you're scared for
So now I'm like, let's respect the razor blade.
Respect the blade.
I have a great big fat scar. Oh, there it is. You kind of can't see it as good anymore. It's like right over around the knuckle, but I cut all the way around like my index finger knuckle. I was down.
Did you see your bone?
Oh, yeah. I was down at the auto body shop. We were painting a bumper, and there's like different kinds of paint primers that you use on plastics, and you can tell which one you need by like cutting off a tiny sliver and dropping it in a cup of water. And if it sinks, you use this one kind, and if it floats, you use this other kind.
Okay.
So I was cutting off a tiny piece of plastic bumper, like a sliver, and also proceeded to cut my finger.
Hand off.
Very badly.
Okay.
Enough that, and I'm like, gore doesn't bother me, blood doesn't bother me. Like, I mean, I did EMT class, I've done like rounds in the ER. I'm not even worried about stuff like that. It does not stress me out. But when I like stuck my finger down, my thumb down on it right away to like keep the blood, you know, like from just gushing. And when I picked my thumb back up and looked at it, I was like, oh, like, I'm gonna pass out. Like, I've never felt like that before, but
when it's yourself, it might be different.
Yeah, I don't know. I've done some stuff and haven't had a problem, but I could see my knuckle, like the inner workings of my
stitches did you have to get?
Knuckle. Well, the stupid thing is I just like wrapped it up because it was super late at night. It was like 1 a.m. And so I didn't do anything about it until the next day. And then I went in, and so then they had to like pry it back open because it already started healing. It was awful. I don't know. I got like a few. They had to go around this. So I think there were like 8 maybe. It was not the best.
Okay, we are going to move away from this conversation.
So now you see why I'm concerned about you using that razor blade.
Sure. I'm excited to paint these bad boys.
I don't want to see that happen to your finger.
I don't either.
Yeah. I think probably just a cursory wipe with like some rubbing alcohol or something. And then we can paint them and see what happens. And then hook them all together. And voila. Soap dispensers that don't get rusty. We did it.
We hope.
We hope. And actually, kind of the nice thing is I think, well, if they do kind of suck, they're not that hard to make.
Yeah.
right?
We can just have another podcast where I make mason jar soap dispensers again.
I only took a few minutes to drill these holes out, so not too bad. I kind of wish they were just the teeniest bit smaller. But I honestly don't know if this would have fit all the way through if they were too much smaller, you know?
Yeah.
Anywho, it's going to be good. Oh, I made myself a nice Moscow Mule again tonight. Because it's 105 degrees outside again.
I made myself water earlier. That's all I drink. We're starting to plan what
about milk?
It's got calories.
You like milk. Yeah. Are you going to like...
We've been talking about my return to the game.
Yes. Take it easy at first.
No, I know. My plan, I think, I'm not going to go out the first time because if something crazy happens, I want to be home.
Right.
And
you don't want to, like, you're basically going to be, like, this is going to be, like, your 21st birthday.
Yeah.
All over again. So, like, it's way too easy to go way too far.
Did I tell you about my 21st? Have you ever heard the story of my 21st birthday?
I don't know that I have.
So I was in England.
Did it involve watery hot dogs?
No.
Oh.
Well, I did try to have an American barbecue.
Okay.
But
I might have heard that part.
Like the night of my 21st birthday, I went out for my birthday.
Wait, when you're in England, can't you drink when you're younger?
At 18, yes.
Oh, so like over there, nobody gave a fudge?
Nobody gave a shit I was turning 21. So I kept having to like convince people like, be excited for me. This is a big day in America. Like I'm missing one of the biggest days of my life.
Right.
Right? Nobody cared. Just nobody.
Everyone was like 19 and was like, I don't care.
The Americans kind of did, but
they're like,
still,
they're
cool.
like,
we've been drinking for
3 years.
Months.
Yeah.
Other
Americans that
Americans,
were there who you knew.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We just like went to some bars and stuff, and then I went to a liquor store to go home, and they didn't ID me at the liquor store.
Oh, son of a bitch.
And I was like, sir, can you please ID me? And he was like, okay. And like
he's like, now I'm thinking maybe you aren't of age.
So he like looked at my ID and he's like, happy birthday? Like he thought that's why I was like asking him to right. And I was like, it's not just any birthday. I'm 21 in America. I mean, I'm 21 there too, but
right.
And he's like,
but it doesn't matter here, and it does in America.
Yeah, he's like, okay, again, happy birthday,
right?
And I'm
like, bye.
I said, can you please just be excited? Because I need you to be excited.
That's great.
It was a sad day.
Nobody gave a shit. Excited for you.
Just nobody. But yeah, so I'm gonna give myself a drink limit.
Right.
I'm only having like 3 or 4.
You're like, I'm going to do this right this time.
I'm going to be at home. I'm going to have a drink limit.
I
decided to get what I'm going to drink.
Well, go for the least hangover-y thing, right?
Yeah. I know Blake's like, do you want a nice bottle of wine? And I'm like, do I want to return to the party game, like, with just a bottle of wine?
Plus, if you have 4 glasses of wine, you're going to have a fucking headache in the morning. Like, regardless.
So that's why I'm like, what if I just have one of all my favorite drinks?
Oh, that might be fun. But then you're just mixing all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah, but what if I have, like, a glass of wine, like, a beer, like, a 7-7?
This already sounds horrible. Like, this is not going to be okay. I think
it might be our housewarming party.
You can mix like beer. I think you should have a couple drinks before your housewarming party.
No, I want everybody to come. And
okay.
Like, what?
Crazy. I think like I always feel okay mixing beer and tequila.
Okay.
Like
have you ever had a Bloody Maria?
Probably. Yeah, just it's a Bloody Mary with tequila instead of vodka. Yeah, it's good.
I want to try one. Except I don't even know if I like Bloody Marys, but I want a Bloody Maria.
Did you not drink Bloody Marys with us that day?
No, I don't drink Bloody Marys.
What were you drinking? Just
Burst.
Beer?
Oh, I think I had some whiskey 7s.
Oh my god, we drank so many Bloody Marys.
I drink a lot of whatever I was drinking. Which I don't even remember, and that's never a good thing.
Yeah. I think it's because, like, well, do you ever get a margarita and then have, like, a beer put in it?
Like a Corona Rita?
Yeah. Or any. But, yeah, like, it gives it, like, the carbonation and... Yeah. I mean, even when I make them at home, sometimes...
Oh, that'll be my 4th drink, a Corona Rita. or a margarita. Oh my gosh, that's what I'm going to do. 4 drinks. Oh, it's going to be great.
Until tomorrow. Until the next day.
Tomorrow, shamaro.
You don't even know. I mean, tomorrow isn't promised. And at that point, you better hope it's not. Because, oh my God. Wine, beer, a 7 and 7, and a margarita.
It's going to be great.
Do the avocado margarita because it's like a meal and a drink.
No, my friend Heather was like, what's going to be your first drink? And I was like, an AMF. And she was like, what? Why? And I was like, I'm just kidding.
No, that's not.
I was just trying to think of like
Jello
the
shots.
craziest drink.
Ugh. Do an Irish car bomb, and then you'll never drink again.
God, Blake tries to get me to do those.
No.
When it starts coagulating or whatever.
No. I mean, I think you know how I feel about milk anyways, and that's just like the thickest milk ever.
Oh, that is bad.
And then
that is bad. I've only ever had one, and it was bad.
No, I can't even.
Well, and you even like Guinness.
I love Guinness, but just the idea of curdling cream and like, it doesn't matter, like, how fast you get it down, it's still going to do that in your stomach. Oh, no.
It's not. That's not.
I can't do that.
Blake does them a lot. Like, every St. Patrick's Day, he's got to have, like, 5. And, yeah, I'm just not down. I don't even drink, like, I don't even like heavy beers, like, super heavy beers, like,
I like dark beers. Yeah. I like porters and stouts and stuff.
No, see, I don't do stouts.
Actually,
porters are iffy.
Lately, at Trivia, they've had a sour porter with cherries. It's so good. I like sour. Have you ever had sour beers?
I do like sour beers.
I like sour beers a lot.
People say I'm basic.
Oh, shut up.
And I'm like, okay, forget you. But
I don't even know anybody who drinks sour beers. How is that being basic?
I don't know. It's because it's like not a real beer or something. It's more fruity. I don't know. I just smell all Blake's drinks.
Right.
It's like...
You can smell mine. It smells like ginger and mint.
It's depressing. I smell it.
Actually, at this point, that's pretty much all it smells like.
That's all it smells like. I told Blake I'm going to become like just a drink, not even just wine, just all drink sommelier.
Yeah, you're going to be like a connoisseur of
sometimes I'll try, I'll pick up his beer. Like, if he's got it in just, like, a pint glass, and I'll, like, sniff around and I'll, like...
swirl it.
Blake pretty much drinks the same beer all the time, so I always get it right. But, I'm like, oh, the hops smell like they're from the Sierra Nevada mountains. or, like,
there's a slight aroma of pine. Because all their beers taste like pine needles.
And I'm like... Oh, I'll just make up random shit. And I'm like, this must be a torpedo.
The yeast and the malt and stuff.
Actually, a lot of times in summer, he drinks Summerfest. He's funny. He cracks me up, Blake, my fiance. Because, I know, right? So,
oh my gosh. Okay, so we've been talking about Blake.
Who?
Us. We have on the podcast for a long time. And recorded and announced that you guys got engaged, but you always referred to him as my boyfriend.
I know, now he's my
Now he's your fiance. So I say dear husband, you can say dear fiance.
Dear fiance.
You have to say it real. Do you ever see that episode of Seinfeld?
I was never a Seinfeld lover. I'm like,
I wasn't when it was on.
Enemy or something.
Yeah. When it was on, I was like, eh. And then probably the last, like, season it was on, I watched all of them. Really? And then, was watching it currently.
Where you could do that.
Yeah.
I miss sitcoms where Modern Family is kind of like that.
Yeah.
But, like, where you could watch any episode.
And it wasn't
you don't
like
have to know what was going on.
Right.
It was just funny.
It was stand alone.
Entertainment.
Yeah. Because I'm crazy about watching, like, shows in order.
Right.
And I haven't seen the early years of Modern Family. I mean, an episode here or there. But it's one of those where you can just jump in. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there has to be a storyline. People get older.
And there's recurring jokes and stuff.
But for the most part, you can watch it. You know who everybody is.
Right.
You know what their...
well enough.
Like, little thing is.
Right.
And it's a sitcom.
I know, I feel like that's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't happen as much.
They've
You've
died.
Gotta be, like, strictly following something.
Yeah, what happened?
Don't know.
You know, like, do some kind of deep dive into, like, the death of the sitcom.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Okay, so there's this episode of Seinfeld.
Right, sorry. I just went on a tangent.
No, I'm, like, really, like, I'm trying to think of a single show that you could, like, jump into that I watch, and not really.
Because, yeah, I mean, I tried to just watch one episode of Walking Dead.
Oh, no.
I was like, who the fuck are you? Why is this guy getting beaten in the head with a bat?
Do we care? No, you gotta be way invested to, like, especially now, because, like, everybody's killing everybody, and, like, you really gotta love, like, the characters to be like, oh, it's okay that you killed that dude. Otherwise, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. Or you watch an episode and you're like, what happened to my favorite guy?
Oh, he died.
Oh, he died.
Because mid-season break, season finale. All the people died.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, no, there's this episode of Seinfeld where Elaine gets, like, drugged to this party with people she doesn't know, and she's sitting on the couch, and she's, like, talking to this blonde bimbo, and she just keeps, like, saying, like, oh no, I've lost my fiance. Has anybody seen my fiance? Like, the way she says it is, like, so annoying. And, like, Elaine is crazy, right? So at some point she just, like, loses her shit on the lady, and she's like, maybe the dingo ate your baby.
No. That's where that came from.
Well, it's actually from a movie
from
before that, but it's just, like, so hilarious because this is completely, like, disjointed, nothing to do with what's happening, nothing to do, and the lady just looks at her and is just like, I have to go away from here because you're scaring me. And that's exactly the kind of person I want to be when someone's driving me nuts, is just, like, say something totally insane.
Yeah.
And just make them go away, right?
For sure.
But I think you should say it like that. My fiance.
My fiance. Now I don't know what I was saying about him.
Your fiance drinks beers.
Yeah, during the summer.
He drinks Summerfest.
Oh, but he cracks me up because, you know, in Chico you order pale ale. Everybody knows what you're talking about, right?
Right.
You're ordering a Sierra Nevada pale ale.
That's the only. You would not say pale ale.
No, to be like, oh, so you want Track 7. I don't even know if they make a pale ale, but I'm just like, that's the first brewery I came up with. You'd never think, this is the kind you want. No, that means you want a Sierra Nevada. But we were out of town, and Blake ordered a pale ale, and the lady was like,
okay.
Like, what kind? And Blake's like, pale ale. And I'm like...
You have to specify.
Like, that's not, like, a specific beer. There's a lot of pale ales.
Right. Like, lots of different breweries make pale ales. Just like lots of different breweries make IPAs.
He's like, Sierra Nevada. And she's like, oh, we do have that on tap. And I'm like, but you... It's not the same in the rest of the world as it is in Chico.
I know. But he's just, like... looking at her like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, they both were so confused. Like, she's like, why is he just ordering pale ale? Like, I know what the hell he's talking about.
And he's like,
why doesn't she
just pour me a fucking Sierra Nevada? Can't you tell I'm from Chico?
It was great. I'm like, okay, that
it is. Work. It's like a thing.
It's a thing.
I mean, for sure. And, you know, you go other places, they have Sierra Nevada, for sure. And if they're going to have Sierra Nevada, they're going to have pale ale. Like, that's probably the only thing they're going to have on tap. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it's not, like, just a common knowledge like it is here.
So that's what you want, right? Well, everybody else has their own little brewery, so... You say pale ale, they might think you're thinking...
Well, now, like, everybody has their own little brewery.
Or
like
5 or 6 or 7 of them.
My uncle brews beer. Like, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is crazy.
It's got to stop at some point. Or expand.
Or we're going to have another prohibition.
Now, that could happen. That would be such a bummer.
Awful. Except for then we could have speakeasies and stuff, and that'd be cool.
Yeah. I totally would be a person who would still drink. I'm, like, thinking about, like, would I just be, like, go along with the law, or would I be like, fuck off, government?
Or I like those places, like, I don't know what I've seen this in, but it's, like, just looks like a normal place, but then there's somebody, like, watching out, and then if a cop comes by or something, they, like, flip stuff, and then it just looks like a regular restaurant.
Like, little casinos and stuff. And they're just like, boom, now you have fried chicken in front of you instead of poker chips.
Right.
And you're just, like, sitting there like,
And then a cop walks by and then you flip everything back and you start partying again.
I think that's only in the movies.
Let's make one. If we have Prohibition here soon, we're going to make one of those places.
That's right.
It'll just be plastic chicken just on the bottom of the table or something, and then you just go...
Yeah, I like it.
Awesome.
Or things that, like, don't go bad. Like, you're going like, here's some jerky.
This is a jerky restaurant, okay?
So you can, like, pick something up and eat it.
We'll call it Jabs jerky. Okay, so it'll be like Jesse and Tabs jerky. Okay, and then we'll have a sign that says "No jerks allowed."
And only the people who listen to this podcast will know the secret code word.
I hope none of y'all are cops.
I was gonna go with like peppered or teriyaki. Like jerky.
Love it.
Okay. So
no jerks allowed.
No jerks allowed.
It's gonna be the best.
That sounds great.
Government, try to take our alcohol away.
I actually had to like explain to my youngest child recently about prohibition. I don't even know how it came up, but we were talking about stuff and like we started talking about prohibition and he's like, what is that? And so I had to like explain, like, you know, I probably did a terrible job of like being historical about it, but I just mostly said like the government made alcohol illegal and so people were still going to drink alcohol. So it just caused a bunch of people to like commit crime that they wouldn't have otherwise been committing. And it created a black market and then a whole bunch of like other seedy things.
Did you explain, like, if guns were to be made illegal?
No. I did not give him any similes. But, I mean, if you think about, like, if you correlate that to other things, yeah, like, well, even drugs. It's like, just because the government at some point said, no, we're not going to do this anymore. I mean, opium was, like, legit forever. And then all of a sudden they were like...
Tombstone, that lady was addicted to it.
Yeah, no, everybody was addicted to it. Like, housewives. And, well, they used it so much in the Civil War that, like... Everybody who came back injured from the Civil War was addicted to it. So, like, everybody was. And then all of a sudden they were like, yeah, no, we're going to take this away. After they'd already... I mean, the government got them addicted to it. How'd that turn out? Great.
Government.
The government. I guarantee you, they can still use opium. So, yeah. It could be interesting. If they start the prohibition again, we're definitely going to be making some... What do you call it? Hooch.
Kind of sounds slutty.
I accidentally made some hooch, actually, because the boys left a bag of fruit in the car in the 100-degree weather. And I went and pulled it out, and I was like, it was sealed, and everything was fine, but it had completely liquefied in, like, 2 days. Crazy.
It's hot here, man.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, my God. Like, this is probably so scary. Like, if you drank this, you would die. You'd probably get so drunk and then also just so sick. That's what people...
sound fun.
That's what people do, though. Like, if they're desperate.
That's true.
Prison. Have you seen Orange is the New Black?
I have not. That's one of the shows I haven't watched because I don't want to get into something.
Oh my gosh, it's way into it.
Blake wants to watch that new show. It's called, like, How Crack Began or something. It has to do with cocaine.
That seems like a really not creative name.
No.
The story of my crack. That's better.
Well, it's the story. It's about plumbers and
belts, the belt industry.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to keep the pants up.
Overalls and suspenders.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of it started with like in
trying
America,
to keep a man down.
Overweight society.
Maybe trying to keep a man up.
That's what the show's about, and I don't want to get into it. Yeah.
Why haven't women really pressed the need for men to always wear suspenders? Like, we're expected to wear bras all the time.
You know, my coworker was just saying, I don't like buying bras. Men don't have to buy bras.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's true.
I think, you know, every man should have to spend a day or two in bras and high heels. Just
to get the feel.
Just to have an idea. Because society has impressed us on... There is no reason to wear high heels. There is no reason to wear a bra. Except that society is telling you that you have to. Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's not even that they've made it so we have to, because we hung out with this girl a couple weeks ago, and apparently she never wears a bra. I was so distracted.
Oh. I never wear a bra.
I'm a female.
You're not distracted.
I don't feel like I see your, like, nips all over the place.
I try to be very conservative about that kind of thing.
Her nips were just like, hello. Oh. I mean, she has tiny, tiny boobs.
Oh, okay.
Which is one reason why she doesn't wear a bra. Like, tiny. You could hardly ever see, like, she doesn't have boobs. Period.
But if you don't get distracted by a man's nipples. I can see men's nipples all the time in shirts.
That's true.
It's because society has sexualized women's breasts. Oh, man.
It's true.
We're getting into some deep shit.
Because I was more distracted by her boobs than this other girl we were with who had ginormous ones. Well, it was funny because she left.
Had restrained them in a...
Yeah, I couldn't see, like, her nips and stuff.
Right.
But, so...
According to society's rules.
Right. She left, and I was like, Blake, her boobs were distracting me. And I have said things about people's boobs before. Like, right. I'm always the first one to bring up somebody's boobs.
Honestly, yeah. I say a lot of stuff about...
Yeah, and Blake was like... He just looks at me, he's like, are you a boob girl or something?
I think I am.
And I was like, I am.
Yeah.
I'm a boob girl.
I'm a boob girl for sure. Because...
I'll notice a girl's boob before I notice her butt.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a boob girl.
Me too. What can you do?
And I asked Blake, I'm like, well, are you a boob guy? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, that's helpful.
They never want...
Like, I know what you mean. They are kind of distracting. He's like, I'm trying not... Well, and this is what happened. So he's like, I'm trying not to look at them because...
Wait, who said this?
Blake, my fiance! And he's like, I'm trying not to look at them because she's engaged and I don't want to be disrespectful. And I was like, that's why you're not looking at her boobs? It had nothing to do with the fact that you have a fiance and you don't want to look at this girl's boobs? He's like, oh my God, you would take it like that. And I'm like,
oh, believe me, I could take anything you say and twist it around. That's one of my many talents.
He knows. He knows.
Yeah. I mean...
Watch what you say, boy.
Uh-huh. Because even if I think it's totally acceptable, sometimes I'll just still do it just to, like, keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to.
Yeah, like, oh, so you think blah, blah, blah. He's
right.
Like, oh my gosh, you know that's not what I was saying. Yeah, I know. But I'm not going to tell you what I know.
I still want you to think that I think you're thinking something and I know what you're up to.
I'm watching you.
Always.
And listening.
Hawkeyes. Hey people.
Follow us. On. Pinterest. Booze and Glues. Instagram. Boobs and Glues. Facebook.
I'm trying not to ruin this for you because it's so great.
Boobs and Glues.
Twitter.
Boobs and Glues.
Twitter's my favorite place lately.
See, okay, I was just talking about how much I just don't like Twitter today. I was talking to my boss, who also podcasts and whatnot. And we were talking about Snapchat, because he doesn't really use it.
What up, Courtney?
What up, Courtney? He doesn't really use it. He doesn't really get it. And I was, like, trying to explain it to him, and I'm like, well, to be totally honest, I think Snapchat is the least user-friendly of all the social medias.
Yeah.
It's, like, complicated in ways that it doesn't need to be complicated. And they keep adding, like, features, and I'm like...
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know how to use this.
I mean, I can get in there and use it, but every time I'm like, do I press this button or...
Yeah.
Like,
It's not user-friendly.
I mean, I obviously, if I used it all the time, I'd probably know what I was doing.
Sure.
Very sporadic user.
Yeah, so we were talking about it, and then he's like, I just don't get why you would use this instead of Instagram. And I was like, well, this is like, you don't take pictures that you're like trying to preserve. Like, I feel like Instagram...
No, Snapchat is the place to be stupid because it's only going to last 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, that's what he said. He's like...
Or 10 seconds if you're just sending it to someone,
right.
like, or whatever, you know.
He's like, I still feel like Snapchat is like the dirty place. So he's like, I'm afraid to add people as friends. I have this idea that they think I want to send them like a picture of my junk.
Right. I don't think that that's necessarily true.
People don't think that, Courtney, first of all. And then, but second, I'm like, Instagram is like a place, I post a picture that I really like, or I want to like say something profound about my life or something at the moment. I do that on Instagram. Snapchat, I kind of also almost use as like texting with some people.
Right.
Like, I'm just sending pics back and forth.
Or like, I'm bored and look at this stupid face I'm making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, so it's like Twitter.
Yeah, with pictures.
And I was like,
it's Twitter with pictures like Instagram is Facebook with...
Right.
You know, it's like the quick and easy.
And he's like, well, I'll rather use Twitter. And I'm like, see, not me, because Twitter, I feel like you have to really think about. You got to be clever about it.
Yeah.
Like,
I definitely spend a lot more time...
to 140. Like, Snapchat, you're just like, look at what the fuck I'm doing. Goodbye.
But you also have to be quick about it.
Yeah, but Twitter, you gotta like... Oh, my things won't fit. I gotta change this and to an ampersand. I gotta change this width to like a W slash.
Yes.
I gotta not put a space here, but you can still know what the words I'm trying to say are. And then it's like, is this really that funny at the end? And then you just erase it all and don't post it. That's what I do.
Me too. What I do on Twitter is mostly just like read things that I find are interesting or retweet stuff or talk about baseball. Because I never feel like I'm witty enough for Twitter.
No, I'm not witty enough for Twitter.
I feel like people are always saying like funny shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have nothing.
Yeah, like the tweets were about marriage. Have you ever read those?
No.
Oh my gosh, there's just funny things. It's like tweets about what married life is like.
Oh, I could do some stuff.
And like
that.
one of them is like, married life is just texting back and forth saying, do you need anything at the store? Or something. I don't remember.
Pretty much.
Like, that's funny. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not married, but
yeah,
enough.
no, if I go through my like history of texts, it would be like, oh, don't forget this. Here's a picture of the specific kind of lotion I want you to buy, because if I just tell you the name, you'll come home with the wrong thing.
Yep.
It's true. Yeah, I'm not witty enough for Twitter, but I still like Twitter because I like interaction of like the everyday person with whoever.
You don't want to read too much.
Well, no, but like I interact on Twitter with people that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this person liked something I tweeted. Like it's like cool because there's that like, I think in everything else there's like a disconnect. And Twitter's like one of the only places where you can actually like reach out and touch someone who's like larger than life.
Well, see, Snapchat, I feel like I'm, like, best friends with half the people I follow because I know what they're doing all the time. And,
Right.
like, people will be like, oh, have you seen Jordan Rogers lately? Like, are him and JoJo still together? I'm like, yeah. And they were just, like, in Texas last weekend, and their dog is so cute. He, like, won't stop playing in puddles. And, like, they just started a podcast, too. It's, like, about sports and stuff. I know them!
I don't even know who that is.
The Bachelor?
Nope.
Jordan Rogers is Aaron Rodgers' little brother.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He was on The Bachelor.
I've heard that
And got
before.
picked. JoJo picked him. JoJo Fletcher. She's got a dog named Jackie.
I feel like real judgmental about a woman named JoJo. That's a clown name.
Her name is Joelle.
That's better. Hey, people, if you really like our podcasts, you can find us on social media. Booze and Glues.
Pinterest.
Twitter.
Twitter. Instagram. Facebook.
Jesse's a robot. Tell him. No, ampersand.
Oh, ampersand. A-N-D. They make like a little jingle.
Like us. Share us.
Like social media.
You know, rate and review on iTunes. Share us with your friends. Get the word out there.
Tell all your friends about us.
We're coming back.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye.
Bye.
Drink up.
You have crap to do.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye. You're like, okay, bye. Bye-bye.